Hey guys, welcome to episode number 83. Today is Wednesday, so it's DIY Wednesday. And today I wanted to test out my router table. I've got it all nice and level here. And the bit that I have on here is a flush cutting bit, so it'll make a straight cut. And it also has at the bottom a ball bearing. And what that allows you to do is make a template. And this template is just made out of hardboard, and it's basically in the shape of like a breeding slate for angelfish or something. What I'm going to do right now is just test out the template against this router bit, and what I'm going to test cut is just a piece of PVC board. Now, if this works out, what I'll probably do is then grab a piece of acrylic, which is more expensive, and I'll attach the piece of acrylic to this template, and I'll route out an acrylic breeding slate. But for right now, I'm just going to use this PVC board. You know, just like PVC pipe is really inexpensive. This stuff is like 1/8 inch thick, and it comes in 4x8 sheets, and it is more cost affordable when you're testing things out and just playing around. So what I'm going to do here is make sure that this template sits on the bottom, and what I'm going to do is have this piece of material that I'm going to be cutting on the top, and I need to attach these together. I need to affix them. So all I'm going to do is use a small piece of double-sided duct tape, and that will be plenty strong enough to hold my hardboard template to my PVC material. So what I'll do is just place this right in the middle. That's somewhere that won't be cut by the router. And then what I'm going to do is just line up my template on my material to be cut here, and just press it down a little bit to make sure that locks in. We'll see if I end up needing two pieces here, two pieces of tape, but what I'm going to do is just try it with one. It's important to note that I pre-leveled this before I started the video, and what I mean by that is I made sure that my template rides up exactly along where that ball bearing is, and I made sure that the place where the bit starts cutting lines up with the very bottom of the material here that I'm looking to cut. This is my first time using the router table in this manner, and I'm going to be as cautious as possible here, because the router bit is spinning at over 20,000 RPM, and it's extremely dangerous. You don't want your fingers anywhere near it. It's just as dangerous as a table saw would be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully and slowly push my material into the blade until it hits the template, and then I'm going to let the template ride along that ball bearing and cut the material as smoothly as possible. It's important to note that if you use thicker material, or if you use material that could get caught in the blade, this whole thing could get ripped out of your hands, and you want to be careful of that. But it's also a very powerful blade, so you want to hold onto the material as strong as you possibly can as you slowly pass it through the blade. If you take big chunks, it will get caught in the blade. The material will get caught in the blade, and that's especially true for things like acrylic, where it does tend to heat up and grab and also true with things like wood, where you have a grain to it, and sometimes if you grab too much wood and you grab a piece of grain, it could pull on your material, which could mean that you ruin what you're trying to cut. So slow and steady with the router table, and wear goggles, wear air protection, and make sure you have a good light source on your blade, and make sure you keep your fingers away from the blade at all times. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to turn it on here. It's going to be very loud, and I'll probably just do a voiceover at this part. Alright guys, so you'll notice that I made a giant mess, but what also happened was it cut very smoothly. As you can see here, the router bearing rode along my template here, and then the router blade cut pretty much exactly the path that the template defined here. And I got pretty smooth cuts here. You'll notice the sides are nice and smooth, and that's because this PVC material basically cuts like butter. This stuff is plastic, but when it heats up and when it's cut, it does cut very easily. So this was a very good material to start with and to test with. Let me just detach it here from the template, and one piece of duct tape was more than enough to hold this to the surface, especially since I was holding it as well. So this was a good first attempt here. I could use this as a breeding slate, but what I'll probably do is maybe look to acrylic as well. Again, I don't have any angelfish to test this out on, so maybe a surface with color here as opposed to a clear surface would work out better. So maybe in another video I'll have this piece of PVC board. I'll also have a piece of acrylic cut to the same shape, and I'll try to bend them with heat and see if I can't make a breeding slate. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys can see the tremendous power and versatility here of this router table, and I really do think it's going to open up a ton of new possibilities here for me and my aquarium projects, especially as it relates to acrylic, because acrylic is one of those materials that's fairly expensive, especially the thicker you go. and you really need to be exact with your cuts in order to make things work, in order to make things watertight. So this is just the first template that I created. I wanted to keep it simple just to test this out. But look forward to more videos here in the future where I create more templates, because this hardboard stuff is cheap as heck. And I'll cut more complicated shapes here with a router, and I'll actually plan out multiple templates which can then be cemented together, and I'll start to make some little acrylic aquarium related projects, maybe like a two-way breeder, or a V-shaped breeder trap, or something like that. I have plenty of acrylic sitting around now, so I'm ready to go, ready to start experimenting. I guess the next thing I need to get is a shop vac, because this makes a giant mess. But hope you guys enjoyed. If you don't have a router table and you like to do aquarium projects, I would highly recommend one. A good small handheld router is only about $100, and then the table you can build yourself. And it took me about an hour to build it. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. I certainly did. All right, guys. See you later.